foundation?
Um, Real quick, Ahman Green Foundation was founded. I founded in 2001, and in the causes were kind of, all over. It's all over the place for a reason because I grew up, doing charity events, being part of the Boys and Girls Club, and going to University of Nebraska. We did a lot of reach out, community outreach things, and and my mom and dad taught me, once if I became successful, hey, you might be able to have the opportunity to give back, to where you grew up or where the community that you're living in. And I didn't really know. I'm like, man, as I was going through it, it's like where I'm going to help. It's a lot of causes. There's cancer. There's Make a Wish Foundation. There's just all type of things out there. And so I kind of just left it open so I could help out every year somewhere different. A family, a football team, a softball team, a little league soccer team, or Make a Wish kid. So I just rotate, and whoever calls our foundation or emails the website, we're like, hey, we need help here, and we will do it. And that's kind of how Kale Caddies and his family came and got involved. They contacted our committee foundation board, and kind of just went on from there. This is why we're having a second annual, Dark Night Classic bowling event. So that is kind of how we work, because being somebody that was successful at what I did, playing football, and being that it was at Nebraska as well, and then being from Omaha, it gets real easy to do, and it's a smile. It's a real easy smile that I could bring to the faces of the families and the kids, and actually show people what some athletes are doing around their communities.
So this year you're focusing on little Kale.
Yep, focus on little Cal.
What made you think this is the dude that I should do this year for my charity?
Well, after I met him, I met him a couple years ago. Met him and his mom and his family, and his dad and his little sister, and it was just something. It was just a no-brainer. A kid that when you meet him, you obviously see the physical, think differences about him, but you can also see that to him, he's just being a kid. None of it affects him. None of it really. You don't see him going through anything. If anything, you see him being, the age he is, 5 or 6 years old, and that's the inspiration, that you see from that situation. I see a lot of kids that in that same situation where they have something going on with them, and to them it's just like a matter of fact. This is my life, and there's nothing I could change about it. And I'm gonna be who I am. I'm gonna be this kid, so I can enjoy being, a child right now, and that's what motivates me to help out him, to help out more families out there that are fighting the disease or dealing with the finances or the struggle or whatever might be presented for that family. And I just bring that, like I already said, bring a little smile to their day. If it's just with a handshake or a hug, or donating my time or donating money, or bringing people together to donate what they can to help out their family for this event.
Tell me about tonight's meet and greet.
Tonight's meet and greet is just what it is. It's a meet and greet, hang out. For the fans, I get to sign some things. That's probably might have been collected dust up on the shelf for about 15, 16 years now. Actually, 20 since I've been on campus. So yeah, it's that opportunity. And you got food out at the Fox and Hound, drinks. It's a nice little setup. Been there a few times. So yeah, just come out, hang out. I've been kind of texting my Husker buddies, so you might get a couple surprises. Not only myself, but you might see some old Husker guys that you hadn't seen in a Husker uniform in a while pop in there.
The Dark Night Classic was started last year, right?
Correct.
Why did you? It's a bowling charity event. Why bowling, and why the event?
It's a social event, because bowling is fun. That's where, I remember in high school going to Central, we used to go to Kelly's Lanes and just go hang out on a Friday or a Saturday night, because all week it builds up. Hey, what you doing on Saturday? What you doing on Friday? Oh, let's go bowling. And that's one of them type of things where you can have a good atmosphere, everybody having a good time, and really now you tie all that into for a good cause. You get to hang out, and get to see me or meet me for the first time, and meet Niles, my nephew, who was a Husker and is doing a great job with the Washington Redskins, and then locally Eric Crouch, he's still in town doing a lot for the community, and my buddy Jane Foreman, was a linebacker with Nebraska when I was there, and he has his foundation. You can see him, meet him tomorrow as well, and we all get together. It's just reminiscent time, but you see how we when we acted when we was amongst each other in the locker room. You see that you might hear a little bit of locker room talk, us talking about what we're doing. Oh man, you're getting big, we're teasing each other, and that's what that's basically we're family. We were family, and we still are, even though we don't see each other every day like we used to when we were in Lincoln.
When you started it last year, did you have hopes to do it every year?
Yes, that was my foundation was created to do stuff not just one time. It was to always have make it where it's an annual event. Does the calls change? The calls might change. Next year might be another family. And if it's Kel and his family, then great. But then we might add and we could get more followers and more people donating. Then we could add another family to the event. But yeah, we want to keep this event going and make it to where everybody know, okay, it's coming around, June or May. Mom's got something cooking. It's coming up. We want to make it that type of feel where just like we know Christmas is coming around, it's an event that a mom's gonna put on for the community. Because I used to do a football camp, here for about 6-7 years with my high school on Mall Central, and that's the plan. I'm trying to get back that camp, because that helped out the Boys and Girls Club in the community of North Omaha, and that brought basically specialized coaching for activity of football, teaching fundamental, to be a football player, how to tackle, how to run the ball, how to take a handoff, and they basically got kids, taught them something, because not only do we do the physical part of it, we kind of mentor them. Let them know because they're kids. They're in school. They got responsibilities to go, if they have hopes and dreams to go to college, just to get their degree in whatever, or to play college sports, you got to do this. And that's what my camps brought to that. And I can't wait till next year because I want to start that back up as well.
And you said you do causes all across the nation, but what does it mean to get to do a cause in your hometown? To do something great.
It just does my heart well because this is where I grew up. This is where I was a kid. Going to the Boys and Girls Club when it was on North Florence, and learning things I learning how to shoot pool, learning how to play ping pong, or learning how to be a good student, because I know when I was a part of the North Omaha Boys Club Bears, that was one part of our program that we had was study hall, right before practice. So I would come from school, and just before I put on the helmet, I had to sit there and we had to study for like an hour right before practice, and that just showed me there as a kid how important my education would be, because for me to be right here talking to you, that was the start of it. Going to that study hall in the library at the Boys Club there, and then taking that to the next level, to the high school level, getting good grades to earn a scholarship to Nebraska, and not only having my athletic ability, but like I said, having the knowledge and being a student to get that scholarship, and then go on to the next level to college and then to the NFL.
And switching gears a little bit, you're a big Batman fan.
Yes.
We hear that you're going to be in the new movie.
Yes, I am. I'm the fly on the wall. That's what I said. I put out an interview. I think it was almost 10 years ago. I did an interview about Batman then. I think when it was Batman Begins with Christian Bale, and I said, man, I would just love to be a fly on the wall in the movie, and I'm that. I don't have no lines, but I got some camera time, and the way that all came about was a good friend of mine was an intern on the set of Man of Steel when Zack Snyder shot that. And so when my friend was there talking to him behind camera every day, eventually my name came up because Zack Snyder is from Green Bay. He grew up, was born and raised in Green Bay. Him and his family moved to Los Angeles when he was 14. So he's always been a Packer fan. So I flew up during Man of Steel post-production shoot and met him, talked to him, had dinner, had lunch with him. And then by the time of our couple of days of hanging out, he's like, I got to get you in a movie. So my first movie I thought I was going to be in was 300 Rise of an Empire that came out a couple of years ago. But it was a snafu with the direction of that movie, so he couldn't really get me in. He said, don't worry about it. I'm still working hard to get you in something. And then this actually almost a year ago to the day, around May sometime, I got a phone call. And I saved his name, or the number that he told me to save was under Warner Brothers. So when I saw Warner Brothers pop up on my cell phone, I'm like, okay. I told my wife, hey, they calling. So she's like, pick it up. I pick it up. Yeah, Mom, this is so-and-so, and we're calling to see if you got these dates available. I said, yes, I'm available. I didn't even ask what I was doing. I just said, yes, I will come, and so I gave her my flight information. 2 weeks later, I got my itinerary, and after that, for me, I was smiling from cheek to cheek until, I flew into Detroit is where we shot my scene, and I met a couple guys. I met Ben. He was in the Batman costume, and that was probably the only time I geeked out and froze. I was like, "That's Ben Affleck in the Batman costume, and it's sweet." I was totally geeking out, just loving it. But once I calmed down, I came back to Earth and wasn't on DC planet anymore. I talked to him, and Ben, great guy, and he definitely, I say for the fans' sake, Ben got in shape. He looked good for the character, for the role of Bruce Wayne Batman. So that was fun. And meeting Zach, and I already had met him before, so just hanging out again with him, and we talked some more. So this might be the first of something new coming up for myself. Another
Wow.
another chink in the armor of doing something.
That is awesome.